good? Are we love? We love. Yeah. I don't care about being on time. We breaking bread. We doing what we supposed to be doing. Yeah. Conversating, like two intellectual Black men should be doing conversations. Mm-hmm. You feel me? I've been on a YouTube documentary kick right now. Obviously I've been tapping in to what's going on in Africa right now. So I've been watching a little bit more intently than I have in the past. Mm-hmm. So it's been good. It's been therapeutic to see what's been going on in the mother continent. But yeah. The question of the week, though, for you, my good brother, today is Mother's Day. You know what I mean? Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Mama Underwood, Mama P. You know what I mean? All the ones. Do you remember a time that your mom genuinely had you shook? Like you were terrified. Like it didn't even matter the age bracket, but was there ever a time where you were like, oh, she really might take me out of this world?
A handful, or at least enough of them, where it's like, I could probably count them on one hand, but they were all monumental. Regular Saturday, me and my cousin woke up. I think we probably woke up and watched whatever. I don't know what Saturday morning programming was actually like. It was WWE, of course, but I don't know if it was like a Velocity rerun or I don't know. It was something, but we was watching that and we ended up going to the Metro Mall at the time here in the city was known as the Gallery at Market East. Fashion District now lies there. It's kind of like a remodeled version of it. But we went, it was myself, my mom, my cousin, his mom, and my cousin, my cousin Zachary. He has a little sister at the time. She was an infant. She was about like 6 months. So, their mom had her in the stroller. We took the train to the gallery and stuff, but something happened at home, you know what I mean? And it stemmed all the way to when we got downtown. And so once we got off of the train and popped up to the actual mall, there was a part of the station in which like you're in the mall, but like it's a lot of these glass like windows and you can see like down to like the train station and the platforms and shit. And it's glass windows, like, you know what I mean? But we were like right next to that. And it like just put the fear of God in me. And something happened. I'm not gonna make the story too long, but I just remember talking back and just feeling, brash that Saturday morning. And like the skin like on your neck, like I can't like I'm this woman gripped me like how you grip someone. She gripped
she gripped
my neck skin up like, and I was a heavier kid at that time too, so I probably had more. I probably had more. Bro, she like vice gripped my like, and she like hemmed me up, and like not that she like put me up against the wall or anything. It wasn't that like, but and I kind of was like on like my tippy toes to a degree. And my mom is about like 5'3". Yeah, I mean 5'2", 5'3". And she had said whatever she said to me, but at that day I was like, yeah, she's her. You know what I mean? Like the fear of God, bro. But that's the one that stands out, especially because I was watching wrestling that morning. I'll never forget it.
So man, the graps is always going to take you out of the game.
Right.
Yeah. My mom, she's Scottish. So like I'm 6'2". Like I've been like, even when I was a kid, tall, right? And my mom has always been 5'4". Like I've always towered over my mom. So I remember man, there were so many times. Because my mom has this ability, like she can talk real sweet. Like if you ever talk to my mom, she's the sweetest lady, right? But something about Scottish women, when like the accent, like at the very top, the voice, and like little women, they get like the voice get booming. It's terrifying. And mind you, my father was in the Marine Corps, right? My mom installed more fear in me than my dad ever did, right? So I was probably maybe about 13, 14. I was an angry, chubby kid back then. Like I was just angry at the world. Yeah. And I think I forgot what it was. I remember it because I was watching NWA TNA. I remember that because it was a Wednesday and she told me to do something and I like popped off. Can't you see I'm watching something right now? And like I said, I stormed down the hallway, and when I came back, she like where my hallway is, there's like a closet door.
Yeah.
She like slung me. Yeah. And I was at least over 200 as a teenager. Yeah. She like slung me, cracked the door, and pretty much yoked me up too. She was like, if you ever back talk me again, like I prompt, like it was a lot. I was crying. Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. It was very emotional. I was scared.
You know, like you said, you know what I mean? And peace to the land. You know, like you said, your mother is Scottish. That, and you could talk about, you know, we could talk about physical size and all of that. What that was, like the moment when you said she walked up, she probably didn't do nothing to say nothing, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily know what the practice was, but that was probably like years and years of like the ancestors, like her dad, her grandfather, like let's get this bull Nick together, man.
100%.
That focus into that moment from the spiritual realm. You know what I
mean? That was Scotland and Guyana coming out with my mom. You know what I mean? Like every nationality we think we have, that came out in that moment. Even to this day, like, you know what I mean? Like my mom is, you know, God bless her. Like she's the only person that can genuinely put fear in, like, if I've done something, the last person I want to tell is my mom, because I just don't want that smoke, bro. Right. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. The last person. Last person.
You know, but you know what she's gonna be mad at if we don't play this intro. Let's get to it.
Real trap shit.
This is the peak of professional wrestling. I love it.
Once again, you're tuned in to the BG Dub. What up? Hit the subscribe button and pour a cup. We back up soon as Scotty beams. Collar and Noble conversation served with a side of collard greens. Nolo's the biggest heel in the photo. D-Mac and Chaz shooting hard from the logo. And off the top rope, starting that guard from a locker room in Philly, they got low. Black guy, BG Dub, throw it up, yo. Wolfpack, throw it up, yo. Sunday night's main event, and we live with it. And this is where we hit the logo.
Got some crappy shoes on. It's never ironed. The shirt is too small. The shitty scarf and the terrible ass haircut. And you think that you're better than moi? Give me a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 199 of the Black Guy Wrestling Podcast. The brand is healthy. Happy Mother's Day, like we said earlier at the beginning of the show. Right now, it is a two-man booth. I believe Chazo is going to be joining us earlier. Marty Jannetty of the group. Nolo, obviously been fired. He'll probably be on for 200. D-Mac, he doing his thing. So let's not even waste no time, bro. Coming in first, it is Scotland Underwood.
And coming in second in the fifth chair, and it's an honor to be the fifth chair of this legendary program, AJ Styles P, LOfrmTHELEAD.
Bro, you are number two. You know what I mean? You are always going to be number two. You know what I mean? Like you are not the Marty Jannetty of the group. You are, you know what I mean? We are tag team that goes on to be world champions together. We good.
Yes,
bro.
sir.
We good.
Yes, sir.
Brother Nasty, what's going on? What's happening with you? Yeah, you know, we in this that weird flux, 199. Obviously, the milestone, the next episode, 200. Big monumental show. We'll get there. We'll talk about what's going on. But first things first, bro. How are you doing this lovely Sunday?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Got a lot of rest this weekend. Got a lot of wrestling. Oh, I mean, you know, lot gets done during the week, but got a lot of rest. You know, I enjoyed Backlash for what it's worth.
Yeah,
and we're here for 199, man. It's interesting. When I think of the numbers 99, I think of a lot of things. I think about the year 1999, a great year in hip hop, right? But also I think like a very monumental year in pro wrestling too. So just thinking about that.
Look at that.
What did you just say?
Come on.
I was singing that shit all day yesterday. Yeah, I mean, like,
I'll forever love that thing. I mean, I know he don't fuck with no more, but
that's
man,
the one.
that shit get the juices going.
Nah, it's not even okay. So like the way I always look. Well, first, how are you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's not even like I think those are two iconic themes, but I always attribute it, or I always place them in where Randy Orton was in his life. Like,
yeah,
that's like Burning My Life. That's pill popping Randy, right? You know, what I mean, that's Randy like tweaking backstage, going to the nightclubs. You know what I mean? The Randy Orton that probably should have got fired a long time ago. Voices is like the sequel. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when this like Jason comes back after the first one and he just keeps coming back. Yeah.
Yes. I respect it.
Yeah. That's
like burning my lights as a fire thing.
Oh man, it just gets you going every single time.
Every single.
But gentlemen, how y'all doing, man?
We up, man. We here.
Good.
You know what I mean? Dedicated this pod to all the mothers, the moms. Sure. You know what I mean? Love to Mama Chaz. You know what I mean?
Avid watcher of the pod, very supportive. You know, let me stop lying. She watches the pod, not avidly, but she watches the pod. So you know, as long as she supports it in whatever way, shape, or form, I'm with it. But yes, happy Mother's Day to Mother Scott, Mother Lo. You know what I'm saying? Mother Mac, Mother Nolo.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
it. Yes. We got a lot to talk about tonight, gentlemen. I believe it will be just us three tonight, but you know, it's just perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah, we good, man. It's just us. But first things first, we cannot go on to Backlash. We cannot go on to the topics of the night without talking about the breaking news that took place this morning. ECW legend, hardcore legend, the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu passed away, 60 years old. Genuinely a shocking thing, man. Like it was just 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. GCW had the final match. Joey Janela. He made an appearance, I believe, last week at the the 2300 arena. For I forgot what promotion it was, but yeah, like genuinely shocking just because of, like I said, we just saw him. But man, when you talk about influential wrestlers, like when I'm saying like influential, I mean influential. Like they changed the course of professional wrestling. Like you can't not add Sabu to that list, man. Like the things Sabu did to himself, to his opponents, like I was saying in the group chat, like you can make an argument he was a part of that wave of modern professional wrestling that we see today. But let's start with Lorenzo, bro. What do you think of this, man? What do you I mean, this news and like overall, what do you think about Sabu and his impact?
I want to go back to when I was a kid.
For sure.
Because it and I mean I'm gonna have to, right? But I'm just to put this aside, but to bring up another parallel situation. In this in the business that these human beings are in this form of entertainment that we enjoy. And especially for those of us that have enjoyed certain talents locally, but like certain talents like on the screen. The very first major pro wrestling death that I think that I can like go back to, and I think it was like the first one I think I ever like experienced and heard about was Brian Pillman. And whenever I get the news, I'm me again when I got the Brian Pillman news. Now this news comes, or at least that feeling sets in, right? That same type of thing. Now this comes on a Sunday, right? And we this is, so a lot of times with these people, and I know a lot of times we think about what a lot of these men, right, do or have said in like their personal lives, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I think that it is still in our best interest as human beings, once they do pass beyond this realm that we're in, to pay a certain type of respect to them. But while they were here, like these people are superheroes, like not for nothing, right? And the character and a person such as Sabu, yeah, man, I like you think of him as someone that's like indestructible or like immortal. You know what I mean? Like for lack of a better term, I know that's a word that's used a whole lot in reference to certain characters and people in this industry as well. But somebody like Sabu, the shit that I seen him do, man, in person on television, you know what I mean? I'm like, this guy's, you know what I mean? And like always throughout my life, like trying to remind myself on how old he is. You know what I mean? Like looking up Wikipedia, looking up Cage Match. And so yeah, man, this is a heavy one, right? It's a very heavy one for the area. It's a very heavy one for the industry globally, right? I'm thinking about certain people close to this particular person, local folks like people like Bill Alfonso and yeah, I mean, like even for somebody like Rob, you know what I mean? Like granted, these brothers are from out, you know what I mean, out in the Midwest and everything like that, but they are, you know, well, Bill, you know, he's from up north, he's from like New Hampshire or something like that, but you know, these people are really important to 3 letters, right? In a city and an intersection in which, you know, we all will hopefully reunite at this September, right? And not just us, but, you know, those of us who, you know, and everybody in the community, but, and we're going to see his image, you know what I mean? Like we're going to see, you know, you walk a 2300, you know, that's the first image you see. Right. And so like, it's just tough. I know, you know what I mean? Even right now, I don't know if y'all feeling what I'm feeling or can even hear what but I'm emoting right now. You know what I mean? And not only just for like Sabu and the man he was, but just the time that we in, and you know, the times are changing. You know what I mean? And you read every day that certain athletes retiring, a certain really important dignitaries and celebrities that pass on. And yeah, man, it's just this is a real heavy one, especially when, you know, he just, you know, public appearances just popped out last year in the city and was just in the city and, you know, was doing this thing with Joey Janela at the break. So yeah, this is a heavy one, man. Sabu is one of, you know, I don't even want to say like one of the greatest of all time. I feel like I'm saying, I say that about a lot of people, but Sabu is just one of the most unique personalities and performers and people to ever grace this industry. And I really hope he rests really well, because we saw the output, and so he deserves much rest and much at this point in his, you know, at this stage in his spirit.
Chaz, what you thinking, bro?
It's so crazy because it's like Lo said, you just certain people, man, you just feel like, man, they gonna live forever. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Sabu, the shit he put his body through on a nightly basis in a league that was, you know what I mean, built off violence. In the you know, it's the best way, shape, form, respectfully. The shit that he always did, he never really had no like crazy injury. And even if he did, he never let you know. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a consummate pro, constant professional. Even I remember, it's funny because when I first was getting in my bag, as far as, you know, wrestling story and digging up, I was watching some shit when Scott was doing the first watch list. I was watching some shit. I forgot the date, but he was getting like booed tremendously. And I was like, what the fuck? Why they booing Sabu? That's the homie. Yeah, man, what's going on? But when he told me the story, I was like, oh, okay. But even still, again, constant professional, constant workhorse, did the work, always showed up. When I first, again, like the moments in my childhood, I have certain moments. I remember seeing Sabu and Chaz. I don't remember. I just remember seeing Sabu and Chaz and RVD and ECW, and on top of like watching like ROH on like Sky Channel, just remembering like certain things. I remember ECW used to come on Spike TV and shit along with Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Sabu was just always one of the first people I always saw. So it's a huge loss. I also, though, find comfort in death at certain times. And with his, to know he had his final match and went out the way he did, the way he wanted to know he got his flowers when he was alive. Because too often we give flowers when they're gone. But Sabu got everything he needed when he was still around. To know that one of his final things was Dark Side of the Ring, a show we idolize and love. And he was talking about Iron Sheik. It is tragic for sure, because 60 is still young. But man, if there's anybody that deserves to rest well, deserves to finally be at peace and have us in the community carry on his legacy, I can't think of anybody better but the immortal Sabu. So he will truly be missed. He is loved. I know he's loved in Philly. He's loved in wrestling spaces. He is idolized. Like you said, his style, his moveset, he was ahead of his time. It's what you see today. Shout out to Son Waltman. I didn't know he had another name. I'm gonna go watch that match later. Lightning Kid.
Sean Waltman got like 30 names, bro. Lightning Kid, Kamikaze Kid, 6, 1, 2, 3 Kid, X-Pac.
Yo.
Do you mind if I do a quick correction real quick?
Yo, yes.
So the Dark Side of the Ring is actually about his uncle, the original Sheik. A lot of people do get that mixed up, where the Iron Sheik and the original Sheik. The original Sheik, I'll put you on the game to do that. You know what I mean? That's a whole. If you thought Iron Sheik was crazy, man, like original Sheik, Detroit, my God. But yeah. If I you know what I mean, obviously I got to get my historical bag real quick. The dopest quote I ever heard about Sabu was a WWE article, and they were talking about like the influence of ECW, and I think one of the topic points was Sabu, and they talked about like the moves that Sabu did, and I think it was Dreamer who said Sabu would do moves that in theory made sense because he went to not only he was willing to hurt himself to hurt you. Brother J-Rod, much love to the family, bro. Thank you. Love. Happy Mother's Day. You know what I mean? J-Rod. Yes, love, bro. But Sabu would do moves to hurt you, but he'd be willing to hurt himself. And there was a talking point about how people just did moves just to get to the next sequence of the match. If you watch Sabu moves, like the reason why I think Sabu stands out is because like everything just looked like it was legit to him. You know what I mean? Like if he's throwing himself up the ropes, he's hurting you, and he's willing to hurt himself to get that W. Legit, the first memory I ever have of Sabu was the second episode of Nitro. He was the opening match. It was him and Alex Wright. And you know what I mean? I'm 5 years old, so like I'm like, yo, this dude wild. Like he got the hair, got the baggy pants. I'm like, yo, he looks cool. He looks wild. And he bust out the match with Alex. Like after the match, he lost the match, but he put Alex right through a table.
Shout out to Alex Wright, man.
Love to, you know what I mean? Like shoot. And you know, and I guess when you say it out loud, it's still a crazy. Like we saw Sabu versus John Cena, like that was an actual match we saw. Man. Right? Like that's crazy. And then you think about like we talking about the matches he had with Terry Funk, Mick Foley, the tag team. I told you, man, the tag team of him and Rob Van Dam with Bill Alfonso, one of the greatest tag teams, one of my genuine favorite tag teams. The classic match with him, Rob Van Dam versus Hayabusa, Jinsei Sasaki. And then, like I said, to go out the way he did in his last match. Like, I know a lot of people looked at GCW crazy about that. And yeah, it's wild. It's a wild, like that match was wild, but like Sabu, you know what I mean? Like, if there's any person that's going to go out in a chaotic way, it's going to be Sabu, man. But yeah, like the reason, like for better or worse, the style of professional wrestling genuinely has like a few people. I put Sabu up with Rey Mysterio as far as like his influence in the game.
Oh yeah,
and, yeah, you know what I mean. So it's crazy, bro. Yeah, it's that one shook me this morning. I'm not even gonna lie, that one shook me.
I hope it wasn't nothing crazy. You know, I obviously we'll find out when it's time. But you just hope he didn't go out painfully. You hope it was peacefully because he deserves that. You know what I'm saying? So, this that chair shot that Ray still is like one of my favorite videos. I go watch randomly. Oh. Whenever I need a good laugh, hey man, let me go watch this shit real quick. Shout out to Sabu, man. 101.
Oh man, you gotta throw it up, G. You know what I mean? One time. If we don't have anything else to say about the good brother Sabu, Backlash last night.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was a hoop.
Lash back.
Lash back, bro. Lash
back.
Let me just say, you know what I mean, for all you ignorant niggas out here, that you get on this high horse of, you know what I mean, like this card, what, this is whack. First of all, you've never learned to just shut the fuck up and realize that 9 out of 10 times, if a card don't look fire on paper, it's probably going to be fire in execution, right? John Cena, Randy Orton, this match is going to be terrible. Like, what do you expect? Like, we talking about 48-year-old John Cena against juiced up, bad back, bad neck Randy Orton. I know from jump this match is going to be a classic.
Yo, classic of the times, man. We've seen these gentlemen do this so many times, and so at this juncture, we should expect just a major carry through in story and character development. I think people forget how much. This is where people fuck me up at, and this is where social media is. Social media has been a disruptor of many things, right? But one thing that it does is it kind of separates like media in a way to where people kind of place everything into the same context. So here's where I am with this. John Cena and Randy Orton aren't going to give you anything that you've ever seen at PWG. You know why? Because John Cena and Randy Orton are television stars.
Say that one more time, bro. Say that one more time.
So when we go to wrestling, when we go to pro wrestling, like we just talked about, we can go to the 2300, we can go to and that's why, again, they're doing television now in the 2300. We're going to see certain people. But when we think about like who certain people are and what a certain context is, we keep kind of categorizing everything and kind of like criteria, like everything having the same criteria. And so like WWE, like they're a media company. Like they have multiple television shows on. They run what used to be called pay-per-view shows. Like it's a lot that goes into this. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's so, people seem to understand this when it came to AEW and how AEW came to be and who was going to be on TV when it came to AEW. But now, like, I think WWE is like Disney to the point where it's like it's been around for so long that people like they still can't really see like how the sausage is made, right? Or like how the Mickey Mouse ears are made, right? For instance. So I think that when we think about like a match that we saw last night at Backlash, I mean, you could say that it was similar to other matches that they've had, but where I am with this is that we got to stop like grading things like based on like the things in the space that we might enjoy the most. We got to stop comparing. We got to stop comparing those things so much because like it takes the enjoyment out of whatever this program is supposed to be. And so I don't know. That's where I am with that. I mean, the PWG and all that, like I'm, shot like that's the shit. And guys have transitioned into television from that. You know what I mean? A lot of people in AEW. You know what I mean? Several people in WWE. But the point is that we have to like treat this the way it should be treated. Right. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. It reminds me of the hip hop thing when like you like people talk about like the new kids rap, right? And like all of the new dances, like the kids is rocking their hips and shit. And like you got 50-year-old men saying it's corny. It's not for you. It's a reason why when certain toys and things were on the shelf, it's a age 6 to like 10 or some shit. This particular thing is not for you, but this one particular toy on the shelf produces millions of dollars. It produces jobs. It's a product of capital. So it's like, let's just treat it like that because it's not going to suit your most like underground or purest desires, if that makes sense. I
don't. Two things. You said PWG and PWG legend Human Tornado popped up. You know what I mean? So watching the stream, salute to Human Tornado. one time for my man Rob Ace Holmes.
All right.
Before we pass it on to Chaz, like just to piggyback off what you're saying, like pro wrestling is this like I feel like the consumption of pro wrestling has gotten worse in the years, right? I feel like, and this is just me, and I can't tell somebody how to watch pro wrestling, right? But it was different 5-6 years ago because there's one central show. There's WWE. AEW's not here yet, right? For the people that are lucky, you might be able to get to watch Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Then you have to go through hoops to watch New Japan. Like you got to go through these whole aesthetics that you know what I mean? But you're mainly watching WWE, NXT through the network. Great. Today is different, right? Today you have the ability to watch pro wrestling in so many facets that I think complaining about what you see on pro wrestling makes no sense anymore, right? If John Cena and Randy Orton is not your type of main event, guess what? I guarantee there's a promotion that has what you're looking for, right? I don't look at John Cena and Randy Orton like Lo said. I'm not looking at a 5-star quality match in the sense of in-ring ability, right? I'm getting a 5-star match out of entertainment, the whole picture. We talking about two of the very best to ever do it. The very best, right? Now, why the Cena-Cody match didn't fall on the line, I'm not sure. I don't know what that was, right? And when they run it back, that's when we can have another conversation, but that's for another day. But we talking about somebody like in Randy Orton who is still excellent at what he does, who knows how to control that ring, who knows how to maneuver in that ring, right? And I think John Cena has enough respect, especially since they grew up in the business together, to be like, if this is going to be the last time we ever do this, right? I think that's another aspect you got to put to this. John Cena might have looked at this match like, this is probably going to be the last time me and Randy Orton ever get in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm not going to embarrass him. I'm not going to embarrass myself. We're going to go out and we're going to put on a quality match, a quality main event in front of a quality crowd.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not what you like, guess what? Go watch something else. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this thing where like I used to hate it, but like, if this was in Cork, and Hall, is it a 5-star match? Nah.
The setting, brother. The setting.
And guess what? Them being in St. Louis made it a high quality pay-per-view match, PLB match. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
So, Chaz, what would you overall like from the presentation standpoint? What would you think of Cena and Orton?
Hey man, you know, some days it pays not to be a historian or a purist. You know,
bliss, man.
Days it pays to just be a kid and a fan. And that's what I was. I was a kid and a fan. I may not remember much from, you know, the spots I have, but I remember majority of Cena and Orton. That's when I was like WWE. What's that shit? I was a WWE purist. I didn't know nothing about nothing else. It was just WWE because that's all I had. You know what I mean? Because WCW left, so that's all I had. And they were a part of my team, and you know, going into my adulthood, the ruthless aggression era, like he said it. They were a part along. For 3 people always stick out in that time frame where I remember Orton, Cena, and Kurt. I always can like pick apart, like, oh, I remember that match. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, and Eddie Guerrero. Those 4 always stand out. So for me, it was just like I'm not here for a technical display of graps. I'm not here for a submission move. I'm not here for none of that. I can get that any day of the week. I can go AEW. That's why I go AEW. That's exactly why I go AEW. If I'm looking for graps, I go over there. That's why I go there. So, but and Lo, you said, I think again the benefit and the curse of social media, right? there is beauty in it, and there's a lot of ugliness in it. Sometimes the ugliness outweighs it, but it's like you want to have these clicks, you want to have these pops, you want to have these reactions. You know what I'm saying? You want to go against the grain. You're going against the grain when you don't have to. You're just being stupid.
And I think not for nothing when we think about like, and you know, I mean, the conversation needs to be driven and created, and you know what I mean, in the space, right, and just contemporarily, I feel like there are opportunities to be gained from. I'm not calling it a good or bad thing. It is what it is, but I just know how I'm gonna treat certain things that like I love, and why are people doing it? Why do people work at WWE, right? Like why do like, and so like let's try to like see like what they can do or what we could do from there, right? But I think there is in this day and age with social media, excuse me, there is something to be gained from watching a product, and not for nothing, like, and you could do it any way you want. And this is not like but from a microphone or from your cell phone or even from like your post, or like, you know what I mean, that, you know, that you write out, that's not audible, but we're reading. It's, you know, there's a way from wrestling in which like you can farm heat, right? You can farm heat from people online and like make that your audience. Now it's not to say that like the whole audience is going to be haters, but like a lot of people get down with certain, you know, contemporary, like basically like certain contemporaries of ours who might critique certain things in a way in which it seems like, oh, like this audience just seems like they gather to like maybe like hate things. And so, and it's something that I'm still trying to figure out, but I'm like, oh, like this just seems like it's a way to like farm engagement.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like it's enjoying wrestling, but it's like farming engagement in as well, like farming reactions. You know what I mean? And so it's just an interesting game.
Yo, these new niggas is different because they not even doing it for a check. They hating, you know, like they farming for the love of the game, right? Like, oh,
and this said people have taken checks, you know what I mean, for glazing, right?
Yeah,
so like, that's been a thing. So I you know, it's
Now I've gone on this platform many of times. If AEW or WWE wants me to hate on the other company and they're willing to pay for it, you best believe we will be that type of podcast. You know what I mean? That's no problem. That's no problem. But like for me, it's like I don't watch NWA, so I don't tweet about it. I don't talk about it. If something pops up, like this Saturday, Natty Neidhart wrestling Kenzie Page, I'm gonna check that out because they've built a match that I want to see. Right? GCW. I don't watch GCW on the regular, but guess what? If I see a match that's fire, I'm gonna check it out. If I genuinely don't like something, I don't feel the need for the energy for it. I don't feel the need to get on my phone to start typing about it. I want to uplift the things that I do enjoy. Right? Cena and Orton, that's something I was genuinely looking forward to. You know what I mean? On the strength of like that's our childhood. We were watching people from our childhood wrestle for the very last time, right? Even with the post-match angle, which we'll get to, like there's a reason for all this, right? There's a reason for all this happening, right? The Cena thing is not just like I saw somebody's tweet. They were like, "Oh, yo, this would have been a perfect night for The Rock to come back." Let that go. You think The Rock is going to show up at Backlash? What?
Yo, did y'all see the Ace of Cinema Batman video?
Bro,
where is The Rock driving his truck and it's Cena next to him with the chain gang chain on and the chain gang back, and he and The Rock driving and Travis Scott in the back raging, but John Cena is rapping "I'm a bad man." Like it's like a rap video. They end up fighting Cody. It's like a big, you know, Ace of Cinema scattered. Like his animations is out of pocket, but that is the funniest shit going right now. Like The Rock just like, you know what I mean? Like while Cena rapping "bad man," like so like yo, when you said that, like that's what the people want, I guess, man.
Hey, look. I need my all the people watching. I just need you to get close, real quick, man. Shout out to Marks with Mics, brother, love, peace, everything. But I need everybody to get a little close. You know what I mean? I need the people watching this program. This, you know what I mean? Whether you're watching on X, YouTube, just come a little closer.
Let us hold your hand. Let
me hold your hand. The Rock is only coming back if the Smashing Machine fails at the box office.
Wow.
That's when we'll like. Yeah. And keep in mind, unless something changes, that movie's going against the Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So unless that movie gets moved, which it might, if the inkling that The Rock deserves an Oscar, we never seen The Rock again. We never see, you're not getting a Hall of Fame induction. Like you're not getting.
Yo, do y'all think that, do you think that Paul feels like that Dwayne was running roughshod over the company this last year?
I keep seeing shit like that. I just don't know how true it is.
It just makes you, yeah, I mean,
it makes me think. It makes me think.
Yeah, definitely.
If you look at the build from Mania and in Backlash, two different shows, right? Yeah. And yeah, you can be the like, oh yeah, it's WrestleMania, even in like the energy towards it, right? Like I'm now under the belief The Rock deliberetely was trying to fuck up. Like, I legit think The Rock was like, yo, I need you, Paul, to understand who runs shit around here. Mm-hmm. It's me. I can have you fired tonight.
And see, it makes you think about what the next like shareholders call is going to be. Like, how much does board have an influence into creative and shareholders? How do y'all feel? What does it look like? What is the reports of when board members are running creative? What does the money look like then versus what does the money look like when creative, Paul and all his people are doing their thing? Right. That's going to be the conversation. It's not we're going to hear something on the call, but that's going to be the conversation in the ballroom.
And that's what we have to remember and remind ourselves is that this is a whole new regime, right? This is a whole new ballgame. This is TKO, right? And we've seen a little bit already of how they move, how they work. And I think it's either Scott, somebody else said, if you want like a blueprint how this is going to go, look at UFC. Not saying it's going to go all the way, but it's the same company that owns them. So for me, knowing that, I have to not necessarily lower my expectation. And I want to make sure I say something. We're not saying you shouldn't speak up on issues that are wrong, that are clearly wrong. Or if you have a fave or something you feel like is not being promoted, like us, when we feel like the black representation is not huge, we speak on that. But that's a justifiable thing to speak on. You losing your shit over certain matches and certain things now when there's multiple things, I gotta tell you, it's gonna fall on deaf ears at some point because again, I already know how it is. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is support the ones I like, support the matches I like, don't get lost in what it is and what it ain't. And when I have a moment where I can go back to nostalgia, I'm going to go back to nostalgia. Cena and Orton made me go back to that kid. I didn't have to think about nothing else. Whatever they gave me, I knew it was going to be a classic. Why? Because like you said, Scott, these are two top 5, top 10, top 15, WWE, wherever you want to put them, they're up there. They're professionals. They just like we talking about it, like it's a business. It's a two-way street. Just like we're talking about how we love the shit, they understand that too. They are aware of that too. And that's what they get. They gave us a performance that we're going to talk about. We might not put in, their top matches, but it wasn't a slouch. I didn't leave them saying like, oh man, this shit's terrible. No, this shit was enjoyable from start to finish. Some say better than main event. I'm there. But that's me. That's my opinion. I enjoyed it all. And I have to remind myself, I have to hold on to these certain things that I have and speak up only when it's justified. Because again, the machine that's running it now, they don't share the same views that we do. It is what it is.
I knew this was a different type of match when John Cena busted out that leapfrog.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. I was like, oh, Cena really respects Orton like this because
we about to get some big crap. Yeah.
And even in a classic case of like how the two of them like are intertwined. The table spot when the announce table didn't break and they pivot and busted out the regular table.
Yeah,
but it was 100% audible. You know what I mean? But it had the crowd going crazy. Obviously the match ended. You know what I mean? Two things came out of this match. The first thing, we are definitely getting Randy Orton and Nick Aldis. Like that's happening. and I can't wait, man. I love when veterans wrestle. You know what I mean? Because you get in seasoned grits with that type of type of quality, the shit that sticks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Seasoned grits sticks to your ribs.
Sticks to your ribs, right? Yeah. So I knew that was coming. Shout out to all the legends that took the RKO. But then the big thing was Randy about to go for the punt. R-Truth comes out, stops him. That causes the distraction. Cena hits him with the title. 1, 2, 3. After the show post match, Cena's at the press conference. Truth comes up, says, like he shows his love to John Cena, and he was like, despite everybody saying you suck and you can't wrestle, and Cena gets up. Cena gets up. He was like, he called that man Ron. He was like, Ron, that was over the line. If you say something else, there's gonna be consequences.
Shit was funny as shit.
Too confused. He was like, I'm just saying. Boom. AA through the table. I just want to say first that I don't know about y'all, but if we're getting John Cena and R-Truth during this next month, nigga, this is the greatest promotion of all time, bro. Like I'm here.
Do we have Cena? So I know he has. I don't know how many exact Raw appearances he has left, but
we're down to 24.
Yeah, but like inside of that, like how many times do we see him on Netflix? Is what I'm trying to. Because I don't know if they actually do these guys have a match on Monday Night Raw on Netflix? Like, is that
nah? But my prediction Saturday nights.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
that's okay.
Because Cena, if I'm not mistaken, is advertised for that. So I can see the main event being Uso, Paul, and then Cena, R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can flip it, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that something that excites y'all? Is that something that intrigues? Because
I watch it. What was you about to continue? Sir?
No. I was gonna say, like it's been a running joke. Like this John Cena, like R-Truth thing has been a running joke for many years. And if they were ever gonna do a match, it has to be now, just because of the circumstance. I saw somebody do a tweet, and they were like, "Oh, R-Truth makes one joke, and everybody's like, push him to the moon." And I was like, watch your fucking mouth. Like, nigga, you talking about Ron Killings. You know the mileage? Yeah, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Ron took a bump on the PLE and then on the post show. You know he's employed for the WWE. He's getting paid. Why do we not like when people are doing their job? And when they're rewarded for doing their job, what is going on?
Chaz, what do you think, man?
It's like, what moon is he being pushed to?
It's just unfortunate. Like, you know what? I look at it like this. Not trying to get too Dr. Umar-ish, but if you're in the space of saying, like, under the Triple H regime, this has been kind of like the only big star he's up. Because wait a minute, was Biggie under Vince or Trips?
That was under Vince. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. So yeah. So never mind. If that's the route you want to go, okay. I'm trying to dance delicately on this line because I understand how sometimes we get caught in the moment and we're just looking at the recent thing of what R-Truth has been, like, funny jokes, comic relief, X, Y, and Z. So if you feel a way about that, okay, I can't tell you how to feel, but I can understand your perspective. Now, put that to the side. Ron is a legend in this game. Ron, correct me if I'm wrong, please, is the first Black NWA champion. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's not something you sneeze at. That's not something, oh, no. That's significant. Ron has been a constant professional, constant. Whatever he's asked to do, he does it and gives it to you 1,000%. So, and it's not like the man still can't. The man can wrestle. So it's not like it's some nigga working at fucking Sears coming in the ring with John Cena. It's our truth. The man can still move and groove. We've seen that when he was doing this thing with Judgment Day. Like you said, storyline-wise, it makes perfect sense. There's not too much you need to do here. Childhood hero, childhood betrays him. Y'all fight. We move on to the next thing. This is for the streets, man, in the most lighthearted, kind way. Like, this is for us. This is for us. Why can't you just appreciate that? Again, remove all these other things you have. Remember, you started watching this shit to get yourself away from the stresses of life. You watching wrestling to just remind yourself, like, oh man, it does feel good just to watch some shit and enjoy, not like put too much with it. Not only are we getting to me, a phenomenal hero in John, but we're also getting the love letters, the classic hits. We got Randy, or we wanted that for Mania, but it makes sense. Backlash, St. Louis, cool, whatever. Now we're getting R-Truth. Pretty sure Cody's gonna come back. So it just, I think for me, it'd be disappointing and unfortunate because it's like you be so worried about trying to be so political and such a purist that you just forget that this is supposed to be something that brings you happiness. I mean, it does for me. So
I'm looking up at the roof because it's raining hard as fuck right now.
we had that.
That shit came out of nowhere.
Mm.
But anyway, you know what I mean? When Cena and Truth they mingle, we'll get there. Fatal 4-way match, United States title, Jacob Fatu, Damian Drew, Jacob Fatu, big meaty men slapping meat. Thought the match was great, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously the story of the match. Well, first, hope Drew's okay because his head smacked the fuck out of that concrete. Yeah, that joint was nasty, bro.
So Trips did say he was fine.
Trips be lying.
I'm about to say, I don't know how much to put on that. Hey, I'm just telling you what the man said. I'm with you. I hope he is okay.
I mean, like, if you look at the height and from where they went, like, yeah, no. Oh, he's a little banged up, nigga. No, man. Like, are you doing the concussion protocol? Like, are you hitting the flashlights on the eyes? Like, I don't know what we're doing.
Super south of heaven.
Yeah, man, it was nasty. I love the feud Drew and Damian have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they bring it. Yeah.
Like that needs to go violent. That needs to, like, the next one needs to go up there.
What would you do?
Great
Last
question.
man standing?
Ooh. My first thought was steel cage with some weapons.
Okay.
But last man's lit because they can go everywhere. And I feel like, hey, listen, shout out to Dane because he takes advantage of fighting outside the ring, fighting everywhere else, and he can give you some moments. You know what I mean?
Bronx, man.
So yeah, I think last man will be lit. I like last man.
He channels that Punishment Martinez every once in a blue moon. But you know, the story of the match, it's left now to Jacob, LA Knight. They on the outside. LA gets distracted with Solo. He gets hit by the debuting Jeff Cobb. That look Jacob had, like, yo, nigga, who'd you bring on the set? Like,
who's this nigga?
To the set.
Yeah, man. Like, now we got Jeff Cobb. I like how Solo just be getting niggas that not part of the family involved. Like everybody, I saw somebody, they were like, oh, well, at least, you know, the Tongans, like, I'm like, that's still not family. Like, that's like,
they adopted.
That's a, like, and even still, like, that's a family friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, hey, yo, y'all my brothers and y'all are, but like, we're not blood, right? We're a gang, right?
Right.
But then that's like me bringing in, let me bring this nigga in that we don't know. And then y'all gonna be looking at me crazy, right?
Yes.
Jeff Cobb not even Samoan. Jeff Cobb not Samoan or Tongan.
Toward the islands.
That man was the flag bearer for Guam in the 04
man.
Olympics.
Yeah, man. My man from stateside. Toward the islands, baby.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I'm excited.
Boston from Australia.
Yeah, I mean, down under.
But hey, shout out to Solo, man.
I mean, I get it. That nigga's like, I can't trust my family right now.
Not right now.
First thing, like Jacob, man, like he is destined for world heavyweight title at some point. WWE champion, don't matter. Like he got it, bro. He's like, I know we have talked about it many times, like especially me and Lo, outside the podcast, we will reminisce about the feud with Hammerstone and MLW and everything. But man, it's just like the crowd, their gravitation towards Jacob is easily top 5. It's great.
And imagine what it's gonna be like once he get a little bit more development. Like whenever he starts to make that turn and becomes a bit more baby, and then like, cause we know like we've seen the man. Like we see how once he start really carrying it like a multi-dimensional like star, like it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on, man.
And he has the right village around him to do it. Like he has the right people. You know what I mean? Like you've seen what greatness looks like. And you know the standard to get there. You know what I mean? Roman Reigns obviously start there, but the sky's the limit. And it's just a natural fit. Like it just makes sense to strap the rocket on him because he doesn't have much he needs. Like you said, a little more season, a little more years on it, you know what I mean? He'll start to figure out, ring psychology, promo, shit like that. But he got it all, man. He's literally, shout out to Anthony Owens, but he's literally a 5-tool player. There's nothing that he can't do, and he's only gonna get better, and that's frightening. That is scary as fuck,
man. This shit ain't over, man. Like not for nothing, but like, and I know we still talking about Backlash Fatal 4-Way Jacob. Where we going with this with Jeff Cobb? Yo, Zilla Fight 2 is on the way too, man. Like this. So I don't know, and I'm gonna just leave it at that for now with the the new generations of the BL. But yeah, I'm just paying very close attention to somebody like Zilla.
Oh yeah. Zilla got the Zilla right now. He literally like uncut raw like once.
Bro, when he debuted with his dad face on his, when he debuted with like.
Yeah.
You
give Zilla like 2 more years. Truthfully, if you get him in like a performance center, like, and you get him that development, and you get him the that training for like where the hard camera is, you know what I mean? That ring presence. You know what I mean? We gotta remember, Zilla only been doing this 1-2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't been long.
They picked this shit up quick. You got to remember, like Jacob was watching wrestling like in the joint. No
jail, football, wrestling. That's all these niggas do, man. All they do.
He's hitting springboard, step up moonsaults. Come on, man. And he was doing this stuff barefoot years ago, Jacob.
Yes.
Like it's crazy. Like it's in the genes, like as they say. You know what I mean? Like. Not to really do all that, you know what I mean? But that thing get passed down. Once they hit them ropes, bro, it's something just lock in. Something ancestrally, something's going on.
And I know, people may feel away, whatever the case may be, about the rough shot they run, but they're fucking good, man. I don't know what to tell you. It'd be one thing if they were trash, like, all right, cool, yeah, maybe we do shoot, but not too many Samoans, cousins, uncles, nephews that don't got the goods.
I know we have. I mean, I know we kind of real quick topically, gentlemen. I know something took place. I mean, something was said about like Samoan people and some of their contributions. Listen, man, let's keep it rap. Let's focus on the grat and like focus on your grat and focus. Yeah, it's like whatever. Yeah, because but I just wanted to put that out there in case any minds were inquiring about what recently was said about Samoan people and how Black people talk about Samoan people. But yeah, man, sky's the limit. But Jeff Cobb though, I think that what's going on there?
Heavy. It's gonna be just like this my brothers. Let me tell y'all, this is my type of professional wrestling right here. With niggas that look like they can go to a buffet, kill 5 plates. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about this. Like, you know what I mean? There's a time and place for everything. This is always going to be number one. This is always going to take priority. I just got done watching this morning Scott Norton and Bam Bam Bigelow, the 92 G1. You know what I mean? Heavyweight wrestling is always going to get my full attention. Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu, they've gotten busy before. Yeah. And it was great. Mm-hmm. Now you're doing this in the WWE ring,
right,
bro? You have my like I'll give Paul the vet Booker of the Year right now. Like this is great. You know what I mean? Look, if you do a situation, because I'm already thinking about this obviously is the part that leads to Jacob being a babyface, right? In a perfect storm, you have to do something that gets Jacob off TV for a while, so when he comes back and he's it's a big deal. So I don't know what the timeline's looking like for Tama and Tangaloa as far as their injury, but a closing segment beatdown of Solo, Chef Cobb, the Tongans. Shoot, I would even throw in Bronson Reed. You know what I mean? Let that be a super group, and them all that'd be a case where bloody up Jacob. You know what I mean? Leave him in the ring, and then 2-3 weeks later, can you imagine that pop of Jacob coming up with the shiesty on, going crazy?
That's
and then Jacob runs through every member. Come on, bro! That's just top tier.
That was gonna be my question for you. I like the scenario.
You about to shoot all over this. I can already tell.
No. I'm just asking a simple question. I just want to ask a question.
As soon as I see the chin, order the chin. My man about to ruin this one completely. What I do, man? What I do?
I just got a question, and then if you like it, answer. If not, send it on back. Do you feel anyone else needs to get involved with that storyline? As far as, bloodline or, not bloodline. Not to say, because he obviously is Jacob. So the perception is he can run through damn near anybody. But numbers do eventually catch up. Do you involve somebody? And if so, who would you do it with?
Somebody helping Jacob or just
Jacob?
No, actually, okay. I wouldn't. Yeah, I truly believe that this should be the finale of
bloodline?
The bloodline storyline that we know it. Just because, you know what I mean? I can't see Jimmy getting involved.
Right.
Yeah, that's not necessary. Roman definitely not touching this.
Jay's on his own wave.
Jay doing his own thing. So Jacob being the one to really kill it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. See, I won't do that.
Sorry, bro. I had PTSD.
I understand.
My bad.
So the last lone 5-2. You know what I mean? Now, Grant, I just spoke about something about Zilla and what that might look like. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, and they probably find a really cool way to kind of detach Zilla from that, but still it that's going to be a thing. But no, I could see that definitely. You know what I mean? This last 5-2 type thing. Because granted, once Solo kind of excommunicates him, there's just Solo with all of the you know what I mean, with the Tongans and with Bronson and Jeff
cousins.
You know what I mean? All of these outside, all of these outside guys. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's and I mean, granted, you know, at some point, you know, getting Solo and Jacob going to be crazy. Like I think that's what I'm really waiting for out of all of this is the Solo.
Yes.
Undoing, you know what I mean? And I
believe with that.
Yeah, the way he looked
with that.
The way he looked, like we kind of see in the beginning of it now. Like we just saw like they in the bottom of the first with that. So
yeah,
man.
I like it.
Big Tom Bex, you know, I mean, the man, Lyra, great match.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Man. It was a good match, man. Deserves way more credit.
Dare I say Lyra's best match since being been called up. I will give Becky her props, man. Like Becky does have an ability to bring out the best when it comes to like I know we joke about like the Becky Hogan thing, but like I've never seen Becky not give back to the wrestlers that she competes with. In a way, I kind of put her and Toni Storm in the same category as about like what they give their opponents.
Yeah.
Right. So you look at like the 4-way Toni Storm had on Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like she she kind of stood back, let everybody shine, right? And then you look at like I'm guessing she'll be doing the same this Wednesday. Sky Blue coming back. I'm pretty sure Mina Shirakawa is going to be in the match. You know what I mean? Like she has a great way of doing that. Becky does that too. Like I don't think. Oh, let me rephrase that. She would have been a major star anyway, but like Bianca gets to a different level with Becky, right? Like the WrestleMania Dallas match, in my opinion, is what put Bianca from like major star to like a major star, right? Then I don't know if you remember like that run where it's like Becky was against Tegan Knox, Dakota. I think she wrestled Xia Li. She has that great way of giving back to who she competes against. So against Lyra, somebody that like the Intercontinental title needed that. Like it needed Lyra to win. Yeah, it needed Lyra to win. But like now Lyra looks like a genuine like champion with that title. Sometimes beating the established veteran is what sets you apart. That's what takes you into the next round. So I think Lyra, I'm pretty sure they'll run it back, but like this was definitely Lyra's best showing.
Definitely. I mean, I was very appreciative of the gear. Lyra comes in to this match with the Intercontinental title, green and black, right? Green and black on the wings. But I think that this definitely was her. This was her shining moment to really like connect with the audience, with the fans, because for me, the promo on Monday Night Raw on Netflix, right, when her, you know, I know I'm a better wrestler than you, like that was amazing. And so now it's just like, okay, what is the wrestling that we're going to see from someone like Lyra Valkyria against a one Becky Lynch? And she proved the point. You know what I mean? Like I really appreciate this role that Becky has stepped in. I really appreciate it for me because. And Becky has gotten a lot of shit from folks over the past couple of years, you know what I mean, leading up to her contract, you know what I mean, resolution and all of that good stuff. But I really appreciate like this role and the service that she's kind of bringing back to the company. And yeah, man, I mean, it was point in that match where she grabs that chair and I'm like, yo, like, you know, for the type of wrestling fan I am, you know what I mean, and things that, you know, I'm like, I don't know if I ever remember seeing like Becky Lynch like grab a chair. You know what I mean? And not that I can remember. If I'm wrong, please let somebody let me know. I forget a lot of things in this thing. You know what I mean? It's a lot that has to go on in this brain. But however, I think that right now, like this was definitely a star-making moment for somebody like Lyra. And with somebody like you know, like her countrywoman, someone like Becky Lynch, who kind of puts Ireland on the map in the WWE for women's wrestling, pretty much the same way that Conor McGregor does for UFC. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I definitely see some parallels there. And a boom in Irish, you know, in Irish people participating in these markets based on these people, right? It's not the same, but you know, we can compare. But yeah, I definitely think it was a great match. I definitely saw a few things, you know what I mean? But I think the match deserves more credit. It might need a second watch from some of y'all, if y'all wasn't really paying attention, because I think that like interaction with women's matches kind of goes low during PLEs, and we somehow stick to a lot of this. And I'm currently, you know, I'm currently watching highlights. You know what I mean? Like, I hope I'm not gonna get taken down for that. But I think that when we see a match on the card, we don't expect to be like that fire. We engage less when the PLE is on, and we probably looking at the timeline or probably going whatever, right? But run the match back, y'all. You know what I mean? That one watch, I don't think is going to do it justice, but really, really good showing by Lyra, man.
Yeah, man. You know, I always feel like Becky's never going to shortchange me. I can always say that. I'm always going to get the best out of Bex. And I know she looks to put over certain times. Definitely, if you feel like there's something there. I just don't always, appreciate how she moves sometimes. But to say, to try to cancel or, downgrade or nothing like that. Now, I'm never going to do that because I remember, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I remember it was one Mania. Her and Bianca wrestled. Bianca lost. And then I think she said she was gonna, when she had the opportunity, she was gonna put Bianca back up. That might have been the next WrestleMania. I probably have to dig deep for the quote, but in any case, what I'm saying is that if she sees something in you and she feels like you just need that extra push, that's what Bex is now in her stage of career. She's that extra push. Not like and I don't want to say plug in a negative sense. I'm saying if you need someone who's a veteran, who has the cachet, who has the upper echelon to move how she wants to move and say what she wants to say, Becky's up there. And you beating Becky at a PLE is not something to sneeze at. You know what I mean? It was a phenomenal match. Like it went the distance. And looking at that, I hope not only is it a spark for Lyra and the IC title, I hope it's just a spark for letting these women cook longer. You know what I'm saying? Especially like when you got especially on Netflix, when you got time. Now we're doing 3 hours. Yo, I remember when Lyra went against One Dakota, and then yes, I mean, yeah. Thank you. And I thought it was great, but it was so short. I was like, damn, I looked up, it was done. So I just hope that this is a spark, not just for the IC title, because it definitely needed that jolt. This definitely puts Lyra in a different conversation. Like, okay, you're legitimate. You are a legit IC champ. Now let's build on this. We can't just fumble the rock on this because this has been all for nothing. Let's build on this. But yeah, man, I think they both understood the assignment and they both delivered what we wanted. So now let's hope and pray that this leads to something even bigger with this rivalry. And, obviously Bailey's going to come back at some time. And let's just go from there.
Paul was he was tweaking at the press conference though when he was like, "This is the best women's match I've seen in a long, long time." Like you didn't just have classic 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Like no disrespect to Becky and Lyra because they put on fire, but like
take it easy.
That triple threat, like that's damn near match of the year. You know what I mean? I'm like. But you know what I mean, Trick, he balled, so
yeah, there you go.
Dominic, Penta. Yo, where are we ranking Penta on like top waviest niggas in wrestling?
Top 5 that are alive.
Yeah, 2, 3.
Easily, man. Like easily.
And shout out to Hang 'em High, because he did the whole smooth operator shit that blew up. It fits.
You did, yeah. So I gotta say, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I got some stuff I gotta get off my chest with this match. Match was great. Dominic, incredible. Penta, incredible. As somebody that actively used to get sick and tired of House of Torture matches because there was constant interference, right? Anytime I see Carlito pop up, I sigh. And I sigh because I'm like, why is this nigga here? I knew, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he vibing.
That nigga got the easiest check in the game right now.
Yeah.
Man. All he got to do, he runs the sticks on the game backstage. He hits on Raquel and he interferes. That's all he does, right?
That's all I need.
And then I'll see JD pop up and I'll sigh again. I'm like, all right. And then Finn pops up and I deep sigh because I'm like, nigga, you should be in the ring graphic right now. That's you.
No, we about to get some shit soon, brothers.
When, man?
We got listen. Listen, y'all. This is Disney. They're gonna make us wait. All the bread, like that's the thing about this. They make us wait on everything. They make us wait on the next time. That's why Disney buys Marvel and Star Wars, because they want to. They all they doing is taking things to the bank. That's all they're doing is taking things into the bank by us watching this shit.
Rough stretch, Lo. This is a rough stretch.
I know it's rough. I agree.
I wouldn't even.
I agree. It's very.
I wouldn't
rough.
even take this to Sunday Night Heat, man. Like this is this is nasty, though.
You see Prince. You see Prince walking around. You see Finn walking around with the Latino cheat shirt on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I'm peeping that he the only one with it on. I'm probably gonna order that. Because that thing is crazy. All of the throwback Dom joints, like all my, and you know, with a throwback Eddie, you know what I mean, Dom collab joint. I mean, pretty much the Rhea Ripley joint was. I'm like, all right, I see where we going with this one. And that was when Rhea was in the Judgment Day. She's long gone, and we still got them vibes. However, what I'm saying is, man, like and here's why I am with this too. Like, I somehow see like Prince kind of getting some shit off with the AAA shit too. So I don't know, man. I feel like he really gonna have his time like in the next few months, man. Like we really gonna circle back to Finn in a major way. I think he's probably your next Intercontinental Champion. That's how you probably get the most out of Dom's run right now, and eventually like who he loses that title to, and how that happens. And which is probably going to be the finale of Judgment Day.
We get into a point now where like I'm about to start saying the nigga washed. Like this is
we get in there.
Like it's rough, man. This is rough, man. This is rough.
That accent, and we gonna be reminded. We're gonna be reminded. I think real soon. I'm probably putting too much stock into it. That you know what I mean. But that, I think we getting that, man. He not wearing that shirt for no reason.
Oh yeah. It's all subtle.
I'm about to buy it because he wearing it and they ain't even start feuding yet.
We got to remember the signs from Monday, man. Backstage, he's talking to Roxanne Perez, right? I don't know when Liv is due to come back, but like you know how they've been talking about like, oh, we need a new member, and Finn's like, oh, we don't need a new member. Now that Liv is gone, if he brings in Roxanne Perez into the group,
yeah, that's crazy.
Like SummerSlam, Dom, Liv versus Finn and Roxanne.
That's that.
We
got a mixed tag. We got a mixed tag. I know we got one not too long ago, right?
One of like last year, last fall, something like that.
We had to, because the one I remember before that is probably like it's in a distance, but I think it's the Mania one with Steph and Paul.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think we got one after that, like not too long ago, maybe maximum of about. Well, you said last, so I was about to say maximum of about 2 years, but I think we definitely got a mixed tag on the PLE not too long ago.
Mixed tag on the PLE would be ill.
That'd be tough.
I gotta go.
Yo, I'm with you, man. I'm with both of y'all. I just
at a SummerSlam, man, that's hard. One of the nights.
The last image that I still hold on to, that's like etched in my brain, and it's heartbreaking, was when Finn dropped the title because of injury, and that has set off a butterfly effect that he has never recovered from.
I remember this nigga Prince used to be the dog. New Japan, you know what I mean? Like, y'all see, everybody remembers the Demon, right? You know what I mean? NXT. I remember when this nigga first came out with the paint, right?
Yeah.
I know Lo remember the Joker over in Red Pro. Come on, bro. Nigga wasn't even a demon. He was just doing it for the vibes.
Right.
Now look at this nigga.
You know how everybody talking about Gabe Kidd now? Like the way that we speak about Gabe Kidd, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the way that we speak about Gabe Kidd and the dogs, like and they the shit. You dig what I'm saying? But like, and I mean, granted, for what it's worth, I mean, it's a difference, right, in size, and I think Gabe's presentation and look goes a lot into what we get, and especially what we get in the ring. Same thing with Prince, but Prince was like that, like that was the vibe, like the next bull from over the pond or from you know what I mean, like, and even like with somebody like even going back to like we were talking about with Zach, you know what I mean, like Zach was but it was all chain and catch wrestling, but with Prince it was just different because it was the Bullet Club shit was coming up, and that's how I felt about Prince at that time, the way niggas feel about Gabe Kidd right now. Shout out to Gabe Kidd though, he's fucking fire, you know what I mean? That's the vibe I get.
I legit always said the biggest mistake New Japan made around that time was not bumping Prince up to the heavyweight division.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They kept him in the junior heavyweight division, which, you know what I mean? Like he shined at, but like he had already proven like he had the match with Tanahashi, beat him, had the match with Okada. Like if you went through, and you keep in mind, we also got to remember, like Prince, his Bullet Club run was only 10 months, because the Bullet Club formed in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He had the final match with New Japan in, was it Wrestle Kingdom? I think it was Wrestle Kingdom weekend that in 2014.
Yeah,
but
doing that at was it at Dash?
It was, I think it was Dash. It was at Dash.
New Year's
because
Dash.
By that summer, he's over at NXT
in Florida.
Yeah. But like, can you imagine if Prince had went into the G1, the 2013 G1?
Oh my gosh. And see, and that's the thing though. It's kind of like that's when like the tide really started turning, where like more Westerners was getting into New Japan. And if he had took that turn, if he goes into that fucking G1, you know what I mean, right before like the middle of the decade,
come on, bro.
Like, oh my god, yeah, like we don't know, like, yeah, I mean that's another timeline, and I don't even know if like the man, like, I don't know, like I think the Universal thing was very fucking unfortunate, but
and now
that could have been lightning in the bottle.
And now look at this nigga coming out dressing like SpongeBob, like it's just not good, man. Like,
oh man,
that outfit was egregious. What the hell was that?
That's a nigga that
Yellow was about.
That's a nigga that you told, like, yo, you're not winning this match.
Yeah.
So, like, why did you take that shot?
El Grande Americano cost Penta the match.
Yep.
Clearly, we get in Penta. Like, there's two ways I can see this happening, right? I know a lot of people said like this Worlds Collide thing is more of an NXT thing. I thought it was a WWE talent in AAA joint, because a big match, because it's in LA, correct?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The main event for that match should be Penta, El Grande Americano, mask versus mask.
Yeah.
And you can get walking. Like, you can get stupid with it. You get, like, you know what I mean? Like, have American Made come out, but then have Ray Phoenix come out for the save.
Mm. Or let's get some LWO involved.
Oh, man, nah.
That's it. No. They need something to do, Scott. We gotta keep the culture alive,
bro,
man.
I love you, man. What the fuck Joaquin Wild gonna do?
I mean, granted, on TV, it's not looking good. It's not
looking good, bro.
You're right. You absolutely right. But like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, let's like we got vibes now. The culture is supposedly, and they're gonna be on the West Coast. Let's give them something to do, man.
If there was gonna be a time you try to figure this LWO thing out, like reinvent it, I guess not. I guess this will be the time. But
would you do? How about? I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
What about if it was Grande Americano, the Creed brothers against Penta, Phoenix, Vikingo?
Okay, yeah,
that's
definitely.
funny
In that sense, yeah. I mean, Phoenix for the save is dope. I mean, you know what I mean, but yeah, I mean, let's definitely get the Lucha Brothers vibe involved for sure.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna, I think if we want to do a thing where we do like, so you're saying like, should we do some type of like, we want to do trios going into the mask versus mask?
I would do the like, that was like a big marquee match. You can still do the mask versus mask. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you want the biggest platform for AAA, right? Like, this is we know what WWE stars could do, but for like a casual audience, they don't know what AAA can do. Like, there's a few key people I see this show needing to showcase. Number one is El Hijo, Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be a part of the show. The second one is this newest version of La Parka.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the main one is Vikingo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want Vikingo to be in a high-profile match. And I feel like Vikingo in the Lucha Bros, like from a picture standpoint, fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Creed brothers can go, and we know what Gable can do. And then you add the mask as like the last image of this show should be them holding up El Grande Americano's mask. And that's why that's why I'm not shitting on this gimmick, because
as a
I'm
collective,
I'm trying to see the end game towards it.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense, and it's very lucha libre. And it's very gangy. No, definitely for sure. But when we think about, man, I think a lot of people gonna fall in love with Dr. Wagner Jr. I think that he got it. I'm definitely excited to see like how they showcase the La Parga thing in this day and age to a Western audience, or more Americanized audience rather. And when is the show? Is it in June or is it
June 7th? Okay,
June. So okay, we definitely getting it early June. All right, bet, man. Like, but out of this, I wonder how often do we see and I've been trying to listen to, shout out to my old head Conan. I'm trying to get a lot of gems and what the fuck is going to be going on. But like, I hope at a certain point we do get a certain type of like AAA like regular programming. And I don't know how we do that on Netflix. I don't know exactly how we do that, but I think it's some whispers about it. But Netflix, Spanish speaking or English speaking, but however we want to do it.
Netflix would probably be the best option just because everybody can get it, right? Yeah. And that's always been kind of like the thing where you can't watch the graps. It's like you said, sometimes you gotta go through leaps and bounds. Even with certain things we have now, it still takes a lot. Like I was hunting for Maple Leaf Pro a couple weeks ago. That shit was hard as hell to get. So
yeah,
I think Netflix will probably be dope because again, you already have stuff going on like the other apps, the Tubi, the Peacock, shit like that. I think sliding that on with Netflix, and then maybe choosing like maybe like a Thursday, Sunday type vibe. I think Thursday would be solid because outside of ROH and TNA, you really it's really opening for that. So
yeah,
I would like to see that.
Yeah, Thursday would be solid.
Yeah, I can see it. I would also like to see Collision move to Thursday.
Yeah.
They are
Collision. No, I don't know. I was just saying I'd love to see that. Yeah, they seem to cook a lot better on Thursday.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. In the last match for Backlash, Gunther, Pat McAfee did what it needed to do. You know what I mean? Like,
the jersey was hilarious.
Oh, look,
the jersey, when Pat came out and took it off. Yeah, I'm just.
What I mean? Personally, I feel like Michael Cole didn't get his ass kicked enough. This is always
That's where I was at. Yeah. I wanted more violence. I was like, yo, let's turn this up.
He had to call the match though. He had to call Randy Cena.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. I know he would have just like, all right, so how much can I do?
Michael back out there with the neck brace and shit on. That would have been crazy.
Look, when Gunther had him in position for the powerbomb, I was like, yes. Hey, but what do you see next for Gunther, man? Because like Gunther's in a weird state. Like, are we doing the Goldberg joint? Is that next?
That's what people seem to want.
Oh no,
that's what people seem to want.
Yeah, I'd rather see the LWO.
Yeah, it's just gonna be sad when we hear that news, man. And that's why I bring up Dr. Wagner, because it's like, damn, like certain niggas about to get their jobs took.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like I think about Keen. I'm like, damn, baby, like we probably gonna catch your name on the Fightful post.
Oh no.
But you know what I mean? And that's going to
damn. Yeah.
The following talents. You know reported by Sean Ross said it's gonna hurt.
Hey, bro, I'm sorry, but nigga, this Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage we at now, because you was making me think. I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, because I'm always thinking about how could we restore the feeling, or at least store a feeling. You know what I mean? Like, how can we get the vibes going for certain people? That's why I was talking some shit about Dragon Lee several episodes ago. And granted, he got his hands on the Speed title, but don't nobody care. Don't nobody, you know what I mean? Like, so
have y'all seen
Karrion Kross wrestling him? Like, it's crazy.
See what?
Have y'all seen the La Parka, the new La Parka?
Yeah.
I gotta send it to you, man. That shit is fire.
Yeah. I'm always down, bro. Listen, I had to send it to my brother because he's a beat back in the, you know what I mean? But yeah, we need that.
Just so everybody, for those that are not watching, like La Parka, the gimmick. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the dude from WCW. That person from WCW is LA Park.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another La Parka who passed away a few years ago.
Rest in peace.
And what they do typically in Lucha Libre is that, you know what I mean? Like, they'll pass the gimmick on to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so this new La Parka, fire. Nigga understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Came out with Thriller. Great.
And the look is so good and like today and fresh. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I need to, and not for nothing, you know what I mean, to just circle back around. Like, I mentioned it again several episodes ago, but people, please do your episode on Penta. I mean, please do your homework on Penta. I said y'all episode. There are several episodes on Twitter about, like, you know, Penta the man himself and, you know, his, you know what I mean? But, you know, the Penta legacy it's a very deep and good story. And so when you finally realize, like, why Penta acting like that and, like, what Cero Miedo, like, well, you know, we know what it means. It's no fear. But, like, why that's the thing, and, like, just the way he walks around and all of that, like, it's just a dope ass story and just a good example story of what, like, Lucha Libre is and how these traditions are passed down.
Yeah. So overall, Backlash, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, good job.
Solid show.
This is where I dribble the ball, pass the topic on. Chaz, yours was a lot more heavier, so I figured we could save yours for last because you. So the red zone, Bob.
I like that.
Floor is yours.
Top of the key, gentlemen. My wingers, right? What is your favorite tag teams of all time? Just like, you know what I mean? This is not just, you know, this is not just like me like pontificating. This is a little bit of a team effort, right? But like, what is, you know what I mean? Anybody can go. What's some of your favorite tag teams of all time? Just
Joaquin Wild.
All right, man. All right. That's enough.
I ain't living that down, bro.
No, all seriousness, man. You know, my favorite tag team, Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
absolutely.
Does it have to be like history or just
any tag? Yeah, just like tag. Yeah, just
okay.
Throw out there.
Harley, obviously. Street Profits.
Okay.
I've been randomly going back and looking at the Steiner Brothers for some reason, and I've enjoyed it. I've really much enjoyed that.
As you should.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. I'm trying to think of somebody else I've been. Damn. What's the motherfuckers' names? Alberto and his partner.
I know you're not talking about Alberto Del Rio.
No,
it's about Alberto.
Yeah,
Los Garza.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
tag wise, it broke my heart when I saw what I saw. So I was like, damn. Los Garza, I've been enjoying them wrestling.
Yeah, because they some of the best at what they do. No doubt.
Yes,
you know what I mean, Performance Center. They some of the best. I mean, that's the thing about certain these. Absolutely, you know what I mean. Like, you know, the Steiners is, you know, they ran the world.
And obviously, Fraxon.
Absolutely right. So this conversation is about the Street Profits.
Okay.
But I just wanted to just like, you know, this as a prompt. See, like, you know, what the vibe was when it comes to tag teams. Now, I think that is very impossible for like one person to have like one favorite tag team of all time. Certain people might, but like even when we talk about wrestlers or even like something like musicians or like actors, like we're going to name probably more than one. Probably not more than two, but we're not going, you know what I mean? It's probably going to be more than just the one. And so the reason why I ask this question is because we are in a time now in which I feel like tag team wrestling is being like restored. I think there was a time in this company in which like tag team wrestling wasn't respected. I don't even really think it was respected by the people who was booking it. Right. Now, it's not to say that because of what like tag team wrestling is, but I think it's because of the talents and certain creative things that did or did not go into those talents at the time. And I think today, like, we're living, you know, and I think we was having a conversation earlier. I was having some thoughts. We were talking about John Cena, and, you know, the WWE is in competition with another company at this point. It's the reason why somebody like John Cena has his title, right? And lineage and legacy and all of these things. When I think back to tag teams, and again, rest in peace to Sabu, big, just very important person. When I think back to the most important tag teams, especially tag teams that have transitioned to the WWE, I think about the Dudleys. Now, you know, again, you know, just talking about the tag team, not necessarily about the men, and we did get solo runs. I think the Dudley Boys is probably, like, if you don't never get the Dudley Boys in the WWE, bro, like, they never become who they're supposed to be. And I don't think something like tag team wrestling, like, becomes what it does in major pro wrestling. Because we ended up getting people like the Young Bucks. We end up getting people like Roppongi Vice, right? We end up getting certain talents elsewhere that definitely, I feel like, viewed WWF, WWE programming, right? Now, in the last few months, we've had a major resurgence of the Street Profits, right? Major resurgence. There was a point into, absolutely, Hardy Boys cannot be understated, right? It's especially to this conversation of like WWE tag teams and what, absolutely, all day long, absolutely. And this is a multi-pronged conversation here, and I'm glad the Hardys have been brought up, right? And this is why we have the audience we have. There was once upon a time in which people were talking crazy shit on my boy. You know what I mean? And I think that not Tez, what's my man name?
Dawkins
on Angelo Dawkins, right? Because there was a point in time which, you know, he was in NXT, you know, it was a certain gimmick, but people were talking shit on my boy to the point where they were like, yo, Montez need to go on a solo run. Right. Now, the reason why I think Street Profits, or I wanted the Street Profits to, you know, for me to bring this topic up, is because I don't think y'all getting y'all Montez run until like 2030, bro. Like 2032. Like, that's an exaggeration. That's an exaggeration. But I give you about 2028. Let's do that. And I'm gonna tell you why. This year,
that's real though. That's real.
This year, someone named Jeff Hardy was the guest of honor at Wale Mania. And I think for certain people, a certain underserved part of the wrestling community, for them to have like this event, this like you know, because in Philly was Shelton Benjamin, and that was very beautiful. I think the very first one they did might have been Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio was the very first guest of honor at a Wale Mania. I think Scott Hall might have been the second. However, anyway, just cultural figures, right? Jeff Hardy gets the nod for Ring of Honor. They give him the Golden Ladder, all of these things. Jeff Hardy had an amazing run in what I believe was 2008, gentlemen, 2007, 2008.
When he won the title?
Yes.
Okay.
And when I think about the Street Profits, I think about tag teams like the Dudleys. I think about tag teams like the Hardy Boys. And this is why I want them to stay together for a little bit longer. And
I see how you're doing it.
Based on what we've seen in you know, these past couple of weeks, and you know, shout out to the New Day right now too. And I think when we think about like, you know, these two tag teams, like, you know, these are the blessings to count as black men and as black people that watch this product right now, because, you know, we had Harlem Heat growing up at WCW, and my brother put me on all of that. But once we turned to USA, to my program, you know what I mean, because I was a younger one, I'm like, you know what I mean? Where's the, and I know that we had the, you know, the Men on a Mission, we done had back then, you know, and even going forward, the Crime Time, but like, we need to keep the Street Profits together for as long as possible, because this is for all of that. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I really appreciate what the match was against a team like Fraxium, because it was my worlds colliding. It was black men. It was you know, these guys I've been watching for a while, along with these new guys I just got put on to from another place that I favor a whole lot in their style of wrestling and other styles of wrestling that influence them. And then what they're able to do, the shit in these past 2 years and them 2 NXT title runs, and they was doing shit I'd never seen before. And even the conversation they had, like It was very simple, but like I love me some fucking Nathan Frazier. I love his baby faceness. I love what he ends up doing in the ring when he's not talking. He turns into a totally different motherfucker, right?
Woo!
This is why the Street Profits need to stay together. It's not to say that, like, you know, Fraxium wasn't going to go on and do what they did. Well, they're not going to go on to do what they're going to do. But that match Friday night was I don't think if you love tag team wrestling, you're not going to forget that match for a little while. And I know we had that classic with you know, DIY and, you know, the table spot and all of that good shit. Like they was hooping.
Yeah.
But what this was a standard bell to bell tag team match on a Friday night, bro. You know what I mean? Like this newly like veteranized legacy tag team now against, you know, the guy pretty much like the new best tag team in the world. You know what I mean? Probably against the tag team that probably has the most eyes that they've had on them like in their career. But we probably shouldn't get that Montez run until about a 2028, 20 years after that run of Jeff Hardy. How cultural it's going to feel then to have like somebody like Montez probably have a solo run, what he's going to be representing at that point in time for certain people. But we might need to chill out a little bit when trying to push for the Montez solo run, because this Street Profits thing is a moment, and we might want to enjoy this for a little bit. And what it's doing for tag team wrestling, especially in this company. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with that.
That's fire. That's fire. Because you look at tag team wrestling before there's a tag team wrestling before the Rockers break up, and there's tag team wrestling after the Rockers break up.
Yeah.
Before the Rockers broke up, tag team wrestling was good and was main eventing major arenas. You had you in Charlotte, chances are you might see the Road Warriors versus Arn and Tully, right? You up in the Spectrum, you might see the Hearts versus the Bulldogs, right? Tag team wrestling was main event attractions, right? Then when you get to after the Rockers break up, because it was in that moment that changed tag team wrestling forever. Because that's 92. This is 92. Yeah, 90 late end of 91, early 92, where tag team wrestling then became, oh, this is a good team. This person is going to be the breakout star. It's where that's where that whole
I see.
That's the whole thing in the tag team. Who's the Sean and who's the Mark?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I think what Lo is saying is so topical, because when we left the TLC match, right, it was universal praise all across the board. This is the beauty of tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
Right. But the Street Profits shined, both of them. You know what I mean? And I was listening to a podcast, and the podcast was talking about the match, and they directly shouted out Montez and only Montez. And I remember the dude said he ultimately said that when the time comes, and it's coming, this was Montez Ford's breakout match. And I thought that shit was so disrespectful. And we've had this conversation about the both of them many a times, but I thought it was so disrespectful because, like Lo was saying, this period of the Street Profits is so important because how they complement each other, how both of them make each other better wrestlers, right? Like, yeah, I remember Montez doing the flip onto the table or into the ladder during the match, just as much as I remember Dawkins hitting the spear off the ladder.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And so when, like you're saying, like a Montez singles run, not until 2028, I'm perfectly okay with that, because the Street Profits are building a legacy, right? They're building a legacy to be in the conversation of the greatest tag teams of all time. It's this thing in combat sports that I kind of compare it to, especially in MMA, where champions will defend their title and then they want to move up in a weight to have double champ status, as opposed to the time where I was really a big fan, where the defenses is what made the championship.
Mm.
If you can hit that 10, 12 title mark, you solidifying yourself in the greatest conversations of all time conversations. The Street Profits, to your point, are on that path. You know what I mean? Phenomenal match with Fraxium. Guess what? We're probably gonna run it back.
Yeah.
And I think they should win against Fraxium.
Mm-hmm.
Keep this defense going, this title run as long as it's going, because it's putting eyes on the Street Profits, which in turns keeps adding to their legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, make a good point about that podcast and how you said it. I know I've been the main one ringing the bell for them to split up, but I always wanted to make sure I never disrespected Dawkins or never disrespected the Profits, because I understood it wasn't their fault. I was upset because of how they were being booked, didn't know what the direction was, and it had been like before the time, like 5 whole years before they had a title run. And shout out to Chad Law. He was the one that kind of shifted my perspective. He was like, you know, we just haven't seen them win a title in this era. So before we kind of make the assumption that, okay, they need to be split, let's see what they do with a title run now. And I'm glad I listened. I'm glad I stood back, because this has been phenomenal. This has been what the streets needed. This has been what tag team wrestling is all about. And to see it happen to 2 black brothers that actually fuck with each other, that enjoy each other. You can see it in the ring. You can see it in their promos. You can see Montez. Montez said it. Like, the reason he was reluctant because he didn't want to leave Dawkins. And again, I was in the space of like, yo, they're not going to use y'all right way. So what's the point? What are we doing here? I'm tired of seeing my mans get embarrassed. I'm tired of seeing them lose. I'm tired of seeing y'all get put on the back burner for other teams when y'all should be up there. Y'all just as good, if not better. We all know Montez we are all aware when it's that time. Montez has every tool imaginable to be a world heavyweight champion. There's nothing he doesn't have. So we accept that. But what's been beautiful to watch is to see the rise of Dawkins. Like, oh, he can wrestle too. Not only that, he might be the best wrestler out of them. Like all the tools, Tez, raps wise, Dawkins might got it. Now, I'm not saying like leaps and bounds, but you can just see certain things Dawkins can do better than what Montez can do. You can see Dawkins. If Dawkins wanted to become a heel, he has the quality to be that. So,
Nigga, did you see what he did to Meechin the other night? Just left her hanging.
That's the heel tactics.
That shit was did he see her? Yeah, I think he did, but like
but people forgot. Like,
then Bree ended up dabbing like, I got you. Like, yeah,
I laughed because I was like, well, she did say they looked fucked up when they walked up, so it wasn't like it was unjustifiable. So, but again, what I'm saying is that small little things like that. Great point. You can see like, oh, if he wanted to be a heel, it would work. It would fit. So I say all that to say that I'm glad. I'm always somebody. If you can change my perspective, and you can show me something different, I'm gonna rock with it. I'm never gonna be closed-minded, especially if it's for the betterment of the game. Having them stay together, having 2 black brothers now start to etch their way up to make their own mark and etch their way up into the new day, the Uso category. It's beautiful to watch. It's refreshing to watch. But not only that, these are the people you build around where you're like, what type of wrestler can we get the casuals? You got it right there. Montez and Dawkins are your wrestlers that are not only good for the purists, but are good for people that don't watch the game. And I mean, it helps that Montez is married to Bianca, but I'm in the sense of, you know who Montez is because of that. But now you're starting to realize, oh, Montez is carving out his own lane, his own route, and he's doing his own thing. So now he's not always under that umbrella of I'm not as good as her. You don't have to be. You just gotta do you. That's gonna come regardless. Your time your Montez is coming. That is going to happen. And when it happens, we're all gonna celebrate it. But for now, Lo, that was beautiful. It reminds us of why we love tag teams so much. Not only that, it reminds us of that first time we had that Hall of Heat reaction. Like, oh man, this is for us. This is there for us. They're all black to the core. Booker T slipping up saying, nigga, top 5 dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? Like moments like that, we remember, we hold on to, and that's the vibe I got with New Day, and that's now the same vibe I'm getting with this new era of Street Profits. It's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to see. You know, you hope obviously the regime doesn't block their growth, but so right now it looks like, you know, outside of them not being on PLE, all the Rockets on their back. So I'm just excited to see where they take this, and not only that, you have a division now which seems to be bringing back the feeling tag team wrestling that we all enjoy. Mm-hmm. Well done, Lo. That was good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just
shit like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's a black guy wrestling pod, man. Got to talk about the black guys.
Since we're talking about black tag teams, I got a question real quick. I got a quick question. Do you think Crime Time came too early? Like as a tag team, like JTG and Shad, like, because I feel like if they came today without like the stereotype that they were portraying, but
that's where I was going.
But like you can flip it, like you can still be who Shad and JT are, maybe on, like, you know what I mean, God rest Shad's soul. But like, yeah, you took away the racial stereotypes and like they just like two niggas just kicking it. Like, I feel like Crime Time today would be a massive tag.
For sure.
And see, that's the thing too. Like, I think about the Street Profits. Like, a lot of it feels like an ode to
Crime Time.
JTG.
Yeah,
because people,
you know what I mean, like,
people
like,
forget
what it would probably look like, you know.
And people forget Crime Time was over. Like, people love
They were.
Yeah, Crime Time was over.
I remember the segment they did with DX, man. That shit still gets talked about to this day. Like, damn, that's tough. Rest in peace,
Chad.
Yeah. Rest in peace, man. I think if I'm not mistaken, JTG, he was wrestling that Ashe couple at Mania.
Yeah, he was wrestling. Should be. Yes, sir.
Good match.
Yeah. So the ball. Well, first, let me ask you.
You just threw it up.
All right. Trying to figure out the best route to go. Okay, so there have been recent, obviously, and we talked about it last podcast, but there have been recent cuts that have been taking place across the scope, and it's nothing new. It happens often, not just in wrestling, business, and life that cuts happen. But these cuts, obviously, some of them hit a little bit deeper and were a little bit more perplexing than others. And being under this regime, it dawns a lot of questions. That's another conversation for another day. I bring that up because the overwhelming love that certain wrestlers got, and I'm just thinking on top of my head, Jakara, Dakota, Core Jade, trying to think somebody else on this one. Braun. I'll stick with those three. The love and support they got, the amount of almost overwhelming care that was placed for them, it was beautiful to see. And it just kind of let me know and remind me that, man, it's so important to have a village to lean on. It's so important to have a safe space where something happens or you're going through something and you don't feel you have enough tools and adequate mental capacity to deal with it, especially something like being cut from something you worked your ass off to get. It's not easy. I look at WWE just like NBA, NFL. 1% make it. You know what I mean? It's not easy to get in. Now, obviously, it's better routes for sure with NXT, WWE. Kind of like they're kind of like building a college farm system in a way. Mm-hmm. But man, even still, you're not guaranteed a spot on the main roster. You know what I'm saying? So to know that when it happened in Jakar, she didn't even get her chance to get up there. But to know when it happened and to see the amount of love and support that they got, that they're still getting, and that we're going to continuously root for them wherever they go. It was beautiful to see. I kind of relate that to my own personal life. I'm going to get a little bit personal than I normally do, so bear with me. I recently had to walk away from something that was probably one of the best things in my life. And had I not, I don't know what would have been the end result of the situation. But I realized that where I'm at in life and where I'm trying to go and where I'm trying to be at, I don't have enough space and capacity to put towards the situation that I was in the right way. And when it comes to that, matters of the heart, matters of love, I don't shortchange. I'm not going to half-ass. I'm all in. If I'm not able to be all in, I'm not going to waste somebody's time. No matter if it's a relationship, friendship, podcast, if I have no space to do it, I'm just not going to waste my time. However, this one stung a little bit deeper because it came off the space that I thought I was managing my mental health quite well. I thought I was managing my emotional health quite well. 10 years ago, prior to where I'm at today, I was very suicidal. I had a lot of those thoughts because life just became too much to bear. Problems hit me all at once. I didn't know how to deal with all these problems at once. I was never somebody, I didn't have all the tools necessary to deal with multiple problems. Not that I have today. But I told myself, and to get even more deeper, my father unfortunately took his life when I was 5. And I told myself, I was like, I never want to get back to this space again. I have a responsibility to carry on my dad's legacy the way he would want me to. I have a responsibility to my mom to be the man she needs me to be. And not only I have a responsibility to my sister to be the blueprint, to be the guy to how to move out here. So I never did. I dedicated everything I wanted to do in life to going to therapy, being an advocate about it, and talking about it, not running away from it. But unfortunately, it showed itself again when I had to uproot my life and come down here to Charlotte, because the opportunities that I thought I was supposed to get weren't clicking. And this is, and not just like in my career, finances and my goals. I felt like I should have been somewhere else by now. You know what I mean? And to not be there. And you say all the time, like, comparisons is deeper joy, and we try to do it, but we're human, so you're gonna compare. It's just gonna happen. But the comparison, not in the sense of like hating on somebody else's success, but why them and not me? Again, you don't try to look at things like that, but it happens. And so you just try to remind yourself of, the timing of your life is not always necessarily in your hands, but it's in the bigger plans. And once it happens, once everything comes overflow, it's going to come in abundance. And that's always what I've tried to remind myself, and also not shortchange myself. The stuff that I've done in my life up to this point, I've done a lot. But I also realize that ultimately I am frustrated, and I need to be all in on not just finally getting my career and where I want to be at off the ground, but my finances in order and my personal life in order. And that's going to take all the effort I have right now for myself and not for somebody else. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I had to remove a person who I love tremendously. But I also understood that if she was to stay around, it wasn't going to end the way it should have. But I say all that to say that one of the first persons I called was Scott. And me and Scott been doing this thing way before the pod. You know what I'm saying? So I knew no matter what I said or how I said it, I knew he was gonna pick up. I knew he was gonna hit me. And I cried like a little bitch. I cried like a baby. But it was necessary because that was some of the hardest pain I felt in quite some time. And it's not that I'm adverse to showing him up, of course not, or crying, whatever the case may be, but for years and years and years and years and years, under the growth that we had, and y'all know, y'all have similar uprising. The whole thing was, you know, men don't cry, supposed to be tough, XYZ, signs of weakness, da 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 da. And it took me years to kind of unravel and untangle that and remove that toxic way of thinking. But like, my body is just so trained to hold on to so much shit and always just pivot and, you know what I mean, take the necessary time to deal, but then, you know what I mean, get to the next thing as quick as you can. That's just how I'm trained. That's how I'm go. But I also understand as I'm getting older and as I'm really trying to advance my career, advance where I'm trying to go, I can't sit here now like I can handle it all. That's just not possible. You need a village at times when you're not strong, and when you don't have, and when you need somebody to tell you it's okay. I needed Scott to say that, because once he said it, everything started to roll, everything poured out, because I had to hold it together while I was in her face talking to her. And that was hard because she's a safe space. But I understood this is just as hard for her as it is for me, if not harder. So in conclusion, I want to say this life is not meant to be lived by itself. This life is meant to be shared with other people. This life is meant to be shared with your loved ones. This life is not meant to just try to carry this shit all by yourself as if this is what you're supposed to do. It's not. No matter what successful thing you see, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a tag team, whether it's a unit, whether it's a foundation, each part plays a role in order to get to the end goal, which is ultimate peace. So please use my story and what I'm giving you as a guide to say, again, I'm not trying to say I'm, you know, this big dude, but if I can come up here and share to the world and share what I've gone through and tell you that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be weak, it's okay to rely on others that you know have your best interests, others that you know you can trust with your heart, and others that you know will hold you down no matter what. Please use me as an example for that, because I'm a walking testament. Had I not had Scott to tell me that, I don't know if I'd have been able to make this pod still trying to deal with that. Had I not had a village back then when I was suicidal, I don't know if I'd be looking at y'all today. No matter what I've done, I've always had a strong foundation and a strong backing to love me unconditionally without any type of wants or needs or anything like that. It's just a love two-way street. I give it, it comes back to me in tenfolds. And I have to remind myself of that as I move forward, that there are going to be moments where I don't have anything to give you, but I know my team will pick me up and carry the ball for me. So whatever your tribe is, whether that's 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, in moments of darkness, use them to guide you back to the light.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Scott, if I can real quick, I just definitely want to thank my brother Chaz, because I know that, you know, we all go through like the similar things. And I think a lot of what you're speaking to is things that I'm definitely like have figured out, but like trying to figure out, right? Especially the part about you know, taking things on, because sometimes you feel like folks only have a container but for so much, and feeling like you have to be the whole container. And yeah, man, I just appreciate it, like, you know, about your story, you know what I mean? Even the background story regarding your family, you know what I mean? And even seeing the image today, you know what I mean, of you and Miss Denise. Yeah, I'm just thankful for you, brother. I'm just thankful for your beauty, for your honesty, for your bravery tonight. You know, before we crack a milestone again, this is something like, you know, you said you and Scott been putting things together before this thing. You know what I mean? And I know I definitely view things through the scope of the pod, right? And of our work and our friendship through this pod, right? But that's something that's very important too, like establishing things outside of the space. But I'm just very grateful to know y'all and to be working with y'all creatively and just, you know, just synergetically on other things we talk about outside of this stuff, right? But yeah, man, I just appreciate your bravery tonight. You know what I mean? Before, you know, and I'm glad that this is something that came up. You know, we talk a lot about other people's lives on here, about other people's employment and and what they got going on and if they should be doing it. And I even appreciated the way you started this out. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just really appreciate tonight's episode a whole lot because it's doing a lot for me. Even, you know, even before the pod, me and Scott were just talking about a few things about like life and times, career things, and yeah, man. So I, you know, this was very healthy for me. So I'm glad that, you know, and I know, you know, everybody here that's still watching this, but I'm definitely glad, like sitting right next to this. You know what I mean? Sitting right next to you on the screen. You know what I mean? I'm right below, but I feel like I'm right next to you as my brothers, man. But just thank y'all so much, man. And just, you know, just thank y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chaz.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And but you know, I mean, like hitting 200 next week is a huge milestone. So obviously I've been doing a lot of reflecting in the last 5 years that this podcast has brought on. And, you know, you think about like the life that you live while you do something, right? And like I said, y'all know what this month means to me and how, and you know, I mean, we'll touch more based on that next week. But yeah, your stories, your brotherhood, like I think that's one thing I'm very reflective on is the brotherhood of this podcast. Like we could end this shit tonight and this brotherhood continues.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely know I could call any of one of y'all at any time and y'all would let me cry, vent, do what I need to do. Just like Chaz knows he can call, Lorenzo can call, DMac can call, Nolo, I'll think about it. But you'll have that space, right? But no, in all seriousness, like that's thank you, bro. Thank you for sharing that tonight. Thank you. I know you needed it. I know somebody watching, we have 560 people watching this right now. Somebody heard what you said and needed to hear that. And that's why I'm forever grateful for the platform we have. And I hope and pray that when people do tune into this podcast, that they're seeing a genuine brotherhood. So thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, bro.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for, you know, just allowing me that space to share. And I think that's the most important, one of the aspects of it. Having a space to share. You know what I mean? Too often people don't even have a small little group of people to share with. So it's like they want to talk to somebody, but there's nobody around. So again, when I joined this thing, I was always fearful because I didn't have the amount of knowledge where I'm at now. But Scott saw something in me, and obviously the others did too. And I don't take that for granted because I could have got up here and not be here for 200. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still here. So obviously I contribute something. I know it's a lot. I'm just in the context. I contribute more than enough. And I'm thankful for that. I don't ever take that for granted, especially brotherhood. If it too often people let friendship and connections die off of something petty or something small, something minute, and it's not even worth it. And I can't think of one time that we've ever even had a disagreement. And if it is, it's always talked about in the hell. It's never got to a space where cussing each other or this and the third. Man, it's a genuinely brotherhood that understands the value of talking, that understands the value of communications, that understands the value of joking, that understands the value of just being there, even if I'm nowhere near you. You know what I mean? I don't play with that. I don't play with this. Like you said, we can stop today. Y'all still gonna be at my wedding, whatever. Y'all still gonna know about my childbirth, whatever I got going on. Y'all gonna be one of the first to know because y'all have created a space in my heart that will never go away. And I'm truly thankful. No matter what comes from this wrestling shit, one thing I can say that I gained 4 new brothers out of all of this, and that to me is the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, man, Nolo never wanted you when I brought you up. So
you know what?
We can talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. I can see that.
We can do it. Yeah, we can do it on there. But he didn't want you.
Oh, that's cool too. He needs to be embarrassed. Yeah.
No, man, that was a beautiful segment. And like I said, we'll be doing a lot more reflecting next week too.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get out of here, gentlemen, just one last thing we need to bring up, and then we can get up out of here for the evening. This past week, we also learned how that you probably shouldn't tweet a young nigga, because the ruthlessness that comes with somebody below the age, right? Javon Evans, Ricochet.
Yeah, man.
What y'all think, man? You like?
Well, I was just dying laughing at the event of it. At the event, and just you know what I mean. And I'm saying this in the good way, the way that I appreciate the audacity of Von Evans, man. I'm gonna just call him Von from now on. He Von.
It's
not a reference to nobody else. That's just his name. So
yeah,
that's what we're doing. But yo, bro, he said like I'm Pac, nigga. Like,
that was crazy.
Is like
that was crazy, bro.
Yo,
crazy.
I would have told niggas I was too cool. That's just me. That's just the he do this for a living though, so he can say whatever he want. But like for the person, like for the dreamer, like for the kid in me that wants to be a pro wrestler, like if I became a pro wrestler and I was like, I would have told Ricochet, no, I'm him. I'm too cold. Like I would have used the actual wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, but you know that's cool.
This nigga didn't even say somebody from his generation. He's like, that's the thing, like.
I said, Tupac, you should have told him you was too cold, Scorpio, man.
Something right.
Keep it rap. Keep it like, but you know, it's I feel him though. He trying to say like, yo, like you not really like you him, like you. And granted, Javon, he's a certain version of a company man too. You know what I mean? Like this our NXT trick and all of that. But yeah, man, I love him. Yo, Javon, man. Shout out to him. He and like he said, this probably like the most important moment of your career. He was like, you never been trained by Shawn Michaels. He was like, well, first of all, bro, like, your boss on crack, and it was like, wait, like
that was the dagger.
All right, bro,
that was the dagger.
Somebody was like, yeah, like to be honest, Javon can't really talk about like bosses and crack.
Nah, like
or whatever the fuck narcotic. Yeah, I mean, like
well, allegedly.
Yeah. But that was hilarious, bro.
I just think it like once again, like Javon was tweeting like King Von. Like you like you know what I mean? Like no care in the world, just whatever.
That's
Just,
what
you
I'm
know
saying.
what I mean? Like you called the second, like the boss of the second biggest promotion in North America a week after niggas just got released. You called him a crackhead, right? And I know he meant it. How do you work yourself into a shoot like that? Like that's the part. See, and there's probably, and I guarantee, like Sean probably got him on the phone, was like, "Hey," or somebody, one of the OGs was like, "Hey, man, you wildin'." And I guarantee Javon was like, "Yo, I had to let a nigga know." Like,
I had to
let him know. Like, Charlotte boys is different out there, man.
Yeah, very.
Nigga, Jay Malachi came out. That wasn't even Javon Evans. That was Jay Malik.
Real rat.
Yeah.
Real shit.
I bet you anything like Shaquan Sugars was like, yeah, tell that nigga what's up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Man.
For
They
sure.
probably hitting him.
For sure.
Hitting him up all through that. You know what I mean? All through the
double on
night.
his shoulder. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
And you know what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say what I was like. You know what? Maybe that's the energy we need more often.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's wrestling.
clearly Trevor this is his niche now. This is what he's doing for his character work. You know, the trolling online. Chelsea Green made a good point a couple of days ago. She said, you know, this is one of the we're in an era where like a story that's on social media will play its way out on the card. And you know, Trevor, I will give him the props for prize. This is probably the best his character work he's done that I've seen. So I can't be mad at it. However, you was trolling the wrong one. Javon had ample time. Javon, that felt very personal. It felt like you were holding on to this dump for quite some time. I don't know what paths they crossed. I don't know what happened in the background. All I know is, like you said, King Von, Tupac, the Spirit of Kendrick all came out within 3 tweets.
that was an NBA YoungBoy tweet.
Yeah. And before him, the other dude was it Kendu?
That's what I'm trying.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, these young boys, man, like
they and listen, it's ain't no sense in it. There's no sense on online going. Nah, just ain't no sense in it. They ready. Like
if Ricochet was in the vicinity of like Javon would have went up to him.
Probably so.
Yeah.
And no talking either. No talking. Talking. On site.
Yeah.
Hands-on program.
Hands-on. I'm not saying it was the best, obviously, because his career, where you at, the company, like you said, we want him to skyrocket. So we don't want anything to preclude that. The Chaz Bailey side, the Darnell side, oh my nigga, yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
I feel like all the greats have a crash out moment. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, there it is.
All this did was tell me, I was like, this nigga gonna be a world champ. Like,
yeah, we were just talking about Randy Orton.
There you go. Boom. It's gonna play into the storyline when this happened. So fuck it.
Man.
I loved it.
Hey,
you can say they do the rap remix. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Let's figure that out.
Well, look, I don't think we got nothing else left for the evening, fellas. This has been a phenomenal episode. Thank you to everybody that's tapped in. 569. If you're liking what we're doing, please like, subscribe, go follow. We about to hit 200, boys. We about to get 200. You know what I mean? That's wild. I don't think y'all understand. Like we'll get to it next week, but I don't think y'all understand like how emotional I am that this is about to hit 200 episodes. Like that shit is.
I remember the deal you had when I first came up. We don't hit 150. We gonna call it a day.
Nigga, we was about to wrap this. We was about to wrap this shit up at 50. Like this is.
I was like, yo, I just got here.
This shit is crazy, man.
It's tough getting to 50, man. It's very tough getting to 50. I can tell you about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bro. It's very tough. And you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody, but it's very tough getting to 50. It's tough getting to 10. It's tough getting to that. It's tough getting that first 8, 10 out the way.
Bro, I'll let you
know what I mean? So I'm just very fortunate, you know what I mean, to
I'll even let y'all
help carry the cross a little bit.
I'll even let y'all know, depending on like where you search, the original BGW of the very first episode we did was in August of 2018. Mm-hmm. We didn't do a show again until December. So like there is an unofficial volume on BGW out there in the world. But yeah, like when we all link up next week, man, like there's gonna be a lot of reflecting, a lot of praise, a lot of thank yous, a lot of thank yous, a lot of thank yous, just a lot of thank yous. It's gonna be a special episode. Nothing fancy. Might have a new background. You know what I mean? Might have a new background. Might play all the intros. Who knows?
Mixtape.
It's gonna be a beautiful transition. Like we've talked out there, 200 is literally the next chapter of BGW. So we'll see how things go. But that's hopefully next week. If not next week, the week after. You know what I mean? I want to make sure everybody is here.
Yeah. For sure. Updates, for sure.
But like I said, fellas, you got anything else before we do the final see you laters?
No, I'm good. I just, I definitely want to thank everybody for, support on the lead. First 18 episodes, 18 interviews are out of the way. That was my goal.
Hall of Fame run right there, bro.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame run.
Season 2 is on the way. You dig what I'm saying? And Ladies Hoop Collective is on the way.
Yes.
So, brand is healthy, man. And, we doing what we do, man.
Yeah. I have nothing, but first and foremost, I want to make sure, outside of everything that happened on Backlash, I think one of the most important, not the most important, was Big E highlighting the ageism between men and women. And I want to make sure he gets his flowers. I think that was beautiful how he said it. I think it was needed to be said, especially with, like I said, all the cuts and things like that. I think, could be wrong. I would hope I'm wrong because I would love to see him back. But I think I told this to Scott before. If my man decides he does not want to ever step back into a ring and just be where he's at, I'm perfectly okay with that. Because he has found another niche, he has found another pocket that he's really good at. And I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you so much. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple months, maybe a year, we see him right beside either Michael Cole or what's on SmackDown? Let's just say Michael Cole. Yeah, so I want to make sure I sound like that. But yeah, man, other than that, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to share. Thank y'all so much for out there and here for, supporting me. I felt the energy. Yeah, this like I always say, this podcast quite possibly saved my life. Along with, the woman who I was with at the time. When I was going through everything, I could always rely on this and I could always rely on that. And that's something that I won't ever forget. So yeah, thank y'all. And I love y'all, man.
Love you too, brother.
Love, man. Love. Of course, you can find me, PoeticScotland, on X, Scotland_Underwood on Instagram. Go follow the articles, Dark Sports Media. Might have a Sabu join up in the next couple of days. We got to, pay the homage. But yeah. Of course, go follow the pod pages, BGW Pod, across all platforms.
Yes, sir. LOfrmTHELEAD and Locker Room League. Go run the season back. BGW Pod for life, baby.
One time for Locker Room League. One time for Final Whistle. One time for the words in all aspects of Scotland. And of course, a little something coming. Ladies Hoop Collective.
May 19th.
Y'all see the date. Yeah, we gonna throw another one up there. The brand's healthy, the scene's healthy, the scene's good, we eating well. And don't say we ain't try to warn you. Even if we did, man, fuck you. We outside, baby.
Oh yeah. My wife said every time I say you can find me, she said you can't find me anywhere. So, yeah, no, those can't find me nowhere. I'm on no social medias. Yeah.
I love sis, man.
No social media.
Can't find him anywhere.
Really can't even find me on this. Can't even find me on this podcast, bro. You can't do it.
No, you're not in here right now.
Not even here, man. Not even here.
An enigma of our imagination.
The enigma.
Yeah, I like it.
Of course, go follow DMac, Nolo. They'll be somewhere.
Right.
You'll see them when we see them. Everybody, the brand is healthy. Officially on the road to 200.
200.
Yes, 200. It's always going to be time to dunk on Charlie. That's where you can find me, dunking over again. I'm right with you. I'm right with Javon.
Yeah, Team Von for sure.
My boys, I love y'all. Until next time, we are out.
Peace out to my world. And at the end of the day, bond that nigga.
We out.
Love y'all. We out.